Hey everyone, Andrew back again, and welcome to another Blu-ray update. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm just going to get straight into it. So let's get started. First up we have Turkey Shoot. Now this is actually the remake, if it's even classified as a remake, or the modern version of the Ozploitation classic Turkey Shoot from Brian Trenchard Smith. I haven't seen this modern version and I've heard it's pretty mediocre. I'll check it out at some point. I'm not really in a rush, to be honest, but the main reason I picked up this Blu-ray is it has a complete and fully uncut, upgraded and remastered HD version of the original Turkey Shoot, which is one of my favourite Ozploitation films of all time. So that is really the main reason why I picked it up. But as I said, at some point I'll get around to watching the modern version of Turkey Shoot. If anyone's seen the modern version, let me know what you think of it. Next up we have a fairly recent release from Umbrella Entertainment, Enemy Mine, and I'm glad this finally got a local Blu-ray release because I've been wanting to check out this movie for quite a few years now. I've heard it's absolutely fantastic, so glad to add this one to the collection, and it's definitely one I'll be watching very, very soon. Next up we have a few really recent releases, Jaws 2, Jaws 3 and Jaws the Revenge. Glad they used the classic artwork on these releases. They look fantastic. I'm a big fan of all three cover arts for the Jaws sequels. Of course, Jaws is a classic. It's one of my favourite movies, and I've never seen Jaws 3 or Jaws the Revenge, and I've heard they're pretty bad, but I definitely wanted to pick them up anyway and give them a go, just to complete my Jaws Blu-ray collection. As for Jaws 2, I think I have seen it, but I cannot really remember it at all, so yeah, it'll be interesting to revisit that one, because if I have seen it, it's been many years, and as I said, I can't really remember it. But yeah, glad they kept the classic artwork. I think the artwork on all three releases looks fantastic, and I'm happy to complete another horror franchise in the collection. So that's Jaws 2, Jaws 3 and Jaws the Revenge. Next up we have Krampus, and this is a movie that I've heard nothing but absolutely fantastic things about. This was a bit of a nuisance to get over here in Australia, because I heard with a lot of the stores that were initially going to stock it, there were some issues with the company that was releasing it, which is Universal, I believe. So a lot of stores didn't end up getting stock, so I had to actually order this online through suppliers. So it did take slightly longer to come in, but glad to finally pick this one up. I haven't watched it yet, and I'm kind of debating whether I'll leave it and watch it over Christmas time, but we'll see. But anyway, all the same, I'm happy to own Krampus, and I definitely cannot wait to check this one out. The next one we have here is Goodnight Mummy. It's part of the Accent collection over here in Australia. Comes with a little slip cover or slip box. This movie was brilliant up until about the third act, where I kind of felt that it really lost its effect, and I wasn't a big fan of the twist towards the end. I thought that was kind of generic and a little bit underwhelming. But I've got to say, the first sort of probably hour of the movie, the first and second act were absolutely fantastic. You know, there was a lot of great suspense, a lot of creepiness. It was really creepy. Some excellent imagery and some really good acting from the characters. The movie doesn't have a lot of characters in the film. There's essentially only really a few main characters that are on screen through the whole duration of the movie, and I felt they did a fantastic job. But yeah, as I said, it definitely lost its effect on me in the third act, and I wasn't a big fan of the twist towards the end. But other than that, it's a good horror movie out of Germany, and it is creepy, as I said, so I definitely would recommend checking it out. Next up we have Goosebumps, and yeah, this movie finally got released over here in Australia after close to a 6-month wait actually from the US, and the wait was definitely not worth it. Now, I'm a massive fan of the Goosebumps books and the TV show. I grew up on the books and also grew up watching the TV show, and I still absolutely love the books and the TV show to this day. So obviously I was super hyped for this movie, but this to me was utterly disappointing. I'm not really going to go on too much about it, but I honestly didn't really like anything about this movie whatsoever. The characters I thought were absolutely awful. Jack Black was a terrible, terrible choice as R.L. Stine. There was way too much comedy into this movie. It didn't sort of have the charm and nostalgia that the books or the TV series has. The monsters that they chose sort of as the main monsters were kind of generic. I will say though, Slappy the Dummy was probably the best thing about this film. But yeah, this was utterly disappointing. I did not enjoy it at all. So I'm sure if you're a Goosebumps fan, you've already seen it, but if not, and you're a big fan of the books and the TV show, give this one a miss. It's, yeah, really disappointing for original Goosebumps fans, in my opinion. Next up, we have Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, and this is another one that's been on my pickup list for quite a while, and it's sort of taken me a while to pick it up upon its release over here, but I did wait for it to come on sale, and I got it for a good price, and it was well worth the wait. This was a ton of fun, as I was expecting it to be. Great zombie comedy movie. I really loved the whole friendship between the three scouts. The kills in this and the gore effects were awesome. There were some absolutely awesome kills throughout, and it was just a really, really well done zombie film. So if you've never seen this and you're a zombie fan, definitely check it out. It was great. And last but certainly not least, we have Tales of Halloween, and out of all the movies that I watched, this was definitely my favourite for the update. I thought it was absolutely amazing and I loved it. However, I did have a few slight issues with the movie. So basically this is a horror anthology very similar to Trick or Treat. However, it's not quite as good as Trick or Treat, and I'm going to give a few reasons why as I'm discussing the film. Now, my biggest issue with the movie is the amount of stories that were included in this anthology. So there's 10, which is a lot for an anthology movie that runs for about an hour and a half. I felt if they'd cut out about 2 or 3 of the sort of mediocre stories that were in this and lengthened out some of the more awesome ones, it would have been a hell of a lot better. And I kind of felt that the wraparound story was a little bit weak compared to Trick or Treat. So yeah, not quite as good as Trick or Treat, but still all the same. Next to Trick or Treat, it would be my favourite modern anthology. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I really appreciated the Halloween vibe that they captured throughout this movie. I liked the fact that the trick-or-treaters or the younger actors throughout the stories were actually kids, other than being like older and trying to act younger and stuff like that. There were some awesome stories in this. My favourites were the first one, which I can't remember, but it was about the young boy that came back trick-or-treating, and then his babysitters told him like a urban myth of like this little boy who used to go out trick-or-treating but wasn't allowed to eat the candy because his parents didn't want him eating candy, and then he eventually ate the candy, got addicted to it, and like every Halloween he comes back and eats everyone's candy and kills people off. That was awesome. The other one I loved was Trick, with the little trick-or-treat kids coming back and killing adults. That was awesome. I really wish that that had been a lot longer, and I wish that a movie like that would be made where these little trick-or-treat kids would go around killing people on Halloween. That would make an awesome slasher-style movie. Another one that I really enjoyed was the one where the boy was dressed up in the demon outfit. He played a trick-or-treat prank on an old man, and he got brought inside, and basically the old man was a demon. That one really reminded me a lot of Satan's Little Helper. There were a couple of other ones, but I kind of forget now, and some of the other ones were a little bit weaker as well. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. There was an awesome one called Friday the 31st, which was like an awesome blend of Friday the 13th and Evil Dead. That was awesome, and I really wish that that was a lot longer as well, because that had some friggin' amazing gore effects in it. But yeah, overall, if you're a fan of modern horror anthologies, I highly recommend this one. Absolutely fantastic, and next to Trick or Treat, it's easily my favourite modern anthology. And another thing I want to mention is the opening credits with the narration from the woman at the radio station was done absolutely fantastically, and that's how the sort of stories were interwoven with the woman at the radio station. But yeah, this was awesome. I've gone on long enough about it, but if you haven't seen it, check it out. And apart from Germany, I believe, I think we're the only ones over here in Australia to have a Blu-ray release. I don't think it's released physically in the US yet. So yeah, that's awesome as well. But love Tales of Halloween, and I highly recommend it. Alright guys, so that has been my latest horror Blu-ray update with a couple of sci-fi titles as well. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you've seen any of these movies, let me know in the comments section below what you thought of them, and thank you for watching.